of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night, though we may criticize it. This is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night, though we may criticize it. This is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, members. We will resume our consideration of the business of this third sitting with prayers led by the clerk.
Almighty God, we who are here gathered together, do most humbly beseech thee to guide us in all our consultations, so that we may together build a land where knowledge is free, where the mind is without fear, and the head is held high, and where words come from the depth of truth. Grant us, O God, the needed guidance, so that we may deal justly with the several causes that come before us, laying aside all private interests, prejudices, and personal preferences, so that the result of our counsels may be to the glory of thy blessed name, the maintenance of true religion, the preservation of justice, the safety, honor, and happiness of the President, and the peace and prosperity of Guyana. Grant us, O God, the vision so to lead, that all the people of this fair land may enter that state of brotherhood and unity, where the minds is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Honorable members, please be seated. Honorable members, we begin our resumption with the presentation from the Honorable Member, Ms. Odessa Primus. Honorable Member, you may proceed.
Jambo, today I stand before you as a representative of a party that soared through the skies like an eagle. And we are proud to be in the House to represent the people of this country. I am here today to speak about the Ministry of Culture, Youth, and Sport aspect of the budget. Now, I was asked to look for the flaws within that section of the budget. And if I may say so myself, that entire section is flawed. That the entire budget is flawed, including the cover of the budget. Now, let me tell you something. Please don't interrupt me, sir. This is not church. Let me tell you something. When we look at the budget, now let me tell you, Honorable Edgel, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you where the problem begins. The problem begins when you have a minister who lacks vision and an understanding of how culture, youth, and sport works. Perhaps if he shared a closer relationship with Dr. Frank Anthony, he would have been able to get some help. How could you have a ministry and have not one single policy for that ministry, whether it be youth, whether it be sport, or whether it be culture. That in itself says that there exists a flaw. Let me explain to you, Honorable Ramson. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you, this is equivalent to building a house and then seeking a person to create the plan for said house that you just built. Does that make any sense? Can't make sense only to the Honorable Ramson. No sense at all. There has to be something that guides, that informs what happens within those ministries. It is safe to conclude that the policy of the Ministry of Youth, Sport, of Culture, Youth and Sport is a no policy position that they have taken. Mr. Speaker, I took the opportunity to Google, and I want to put Google out there just in case anybody's going to come out and say AI. What policy is? And let me read what Google says. Google says policy defines goals, it establishes operational boundaries, it ensures accountability, and it guides decision-making to align with public interest. Now, Google ain't stop there. This is not my idea. Google Bright. What Google continued to say is that it ensures consistency and efficiency, performance evaluation, accountability and governance, and of course, it ensures legal protection. So in other words, we, the artists in this country, have got no legal protection. In other words, no copyright laws. In other words, it means that the government, and by extension, the minister, has a problem with accountability because that facilitates for evaluation. Mr. Honorable Speaker, sorry, I'm talking to everybody. Honorable Speaker, let me tell you, sir, what I have found within these things. I looked at the list of words that we are prohibited from saying, sir. And so I don't want to be disrespectful by any means in this honorable house. So I decided that to describe what is happening, I will say it is eruption. It is eruption that starts with a K. That is what we are experiencing here under the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, since there is absolutely no accountability.
There is also what the Speaker interprets as imputation. Check the standing orders.
Thank you very much for that, sir. And your interpretation is I shouldn't use it?
Repeat again.
No, I'm asking, are you saying that I should not say that?
All I'm saying is be cautious.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciated. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciated. Guided. Honorable members, I looked at the title given to the budget, Putting People First. I may have heard that somewhere before. Not quite sure where. Oh, I did. Right. And I was very happy. That is one of the things that I actually like. And I'm happy particularly because almost 30 years being in government, and the people finally decide that they are going to put people first. And now, looking at that, imagine after all these years, you have now decided to put the people first. Thank God for that. But when you examine the budget, honorable members, when you examine the budget, does it actually put the people first? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, for the sake of this debate, what I will do is go through each of the different sectors. We are going to start with culture. And let me tell you, if there is anybody in this house who has an authority to speak on culture, it would be me. I have been in that industry from childhood. And outside of myself and the Honorable Saiku, we are the only people who can tell you directly what are the struggles faced by the people who are in the cultural industry. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you, as it relates to culture, youth, and sport, unfortunately, because the government does not see youth as important, they have gotten one of the smallest budgets allocated to any ministry. And I was so concerned when I looked at the $8 billion that they were given last year. And this year they had to reduce that to $6 billion. And we have over 70% of the people in this country are youths. So you could imagine 70% of the people are only given the smallest part of anything. This can't be a government that is putting the people first. Which people? Who? Certainly not the people who are involved in youth sport and culture. Certainly not our artists. Certainly not our sportsmen and women. Certainly not our young people. This government has failed, and this budget is a clear illustration that they intend to continue failing. Mr. Speaker, no, sir. You don't study me and food, honorable member. Things so hard in this country, I went to buy $300 celery. The people brought out 3 celery. I became allergic to celery. Things hard within this country, Honorable James Bond. Don't pretend as though you have not been suffering. Honorable members, let me tell you something as it relates to the preservation, of culture in this country. When it comes to culture, there is absolutely no place in this country that we can go and learn about other people who went before us, who participated in culture. We have a museum. Tell me, honorable members, let me go through the names of some of the people who have contributed significantly to culture, and where have we even ventured to ensure that their contributions to our culture is preserved? The National Cultural Center is a monument. That perhaps is one of the monuments, or that's the museum or a monument of some sort. Now let me tell you, I have performed countless times at the National Cultural Center. And if you go into that, you don't go to the Culture Center, James. You there in Melanie, where there's no place where people could do any sort of acting, so you don't know what's going on. I performed at your place. Now, honorable members, when the PPP was victimizing James, I was the one who went to perform at his place. He could get $1 so that he don't have to feel the hardships of the PPP government. When Ingratitude was sharing, that honorable member got the lion's share. He did not pay me. He didn't have money. I was helping him. Now let me tell you, honorable member, let us go to that list that I just mentioned. We have names like the Mighty Rebel. How many young people you could go into school and tell them about Rebel and they could tell you who the Mighty Rebel is? How many young people could tell us about Henry Rodney's contribution to theater as well as to the culture? Habib Khan has been one of the most outstanding comedians in this country. That man loved the art so much that he dropped out of law school and went ahead and pursued his career in stand-up comedy. Honorable members, I stand before you, and it pains my heart to tell you that both Henry Rodney and Mr. Habib Khan died paupers in this country. And I'm not saying that to discredit those people or their families, but to let you understand that as an artist, what the government is promoting is poverty. You cannot tell me that poverty is what you want for your own people. As an artist, we have the Honorable Saiku here with us. He could tell you how much the government contributed to his craft. Tell us, you want some time, think? Nothing. He said nothing. They have not contributed anything. Because you know why? The honorable member's idea of promoting culture is having a one Guyana show 1 and 2 times a year. Our culture cannot be something that you just do 1 and 2 times. That is not how it works, honorable member. Our culture should be preserved. Oh, for the sake of prosperity, we should do better. To continue going through that list of some of the people who we lost. We have the great Daphne Rogers. Members sitting in this house don't even know, including Mr. Ramson, who Daphne Rogers is. We have Ron Robinson. We have the Honorable Dave Martin, who, of course, a lot of times when these people die, you have the president and everybody in this country showing up to the funerals and talking about how great they were and all of these sorts of things. How much have we as a country given to those people who have dedicated their lives to the culture in this country? Nothing. You just get to have a funeral at the culture center. That is it. Nothing more. There is no place that you can go and see what the contributions of those great men and women who went before us. We have, to continue the list, we have Andre Sobrian. And also, I would like to draw our attention to the living legends. And I'm saying and mentioning some of these legends. I'm mentioning some of these legends because while they are alive, I hope that as a country we could do better. Because when I look at this budget, there is nothing that caters to those persons who continue to contribute to the culture. Let me go through the list for the sake of the honorable member. Miss Desiree Edgell, Vivian Daniels, Margaret Lawrence, Paloma Mohammed, Malcolm De Freitas, Jennifer Thomas, Simone Dowding, the Yoruba singers, Madu Nascimento, Eddie Grant, and of course the list can go on and on and on forever. But just like Jamestown, there is absolutely nothing to show of the existence of the history. I attempted to go to Jamestown, honorable member, and if the Minister of Culture decides that it is good to marry culture with tourism, I would like to assist him here. These are places that we should seek to preserve and to restore because these are places, whether positive or negative, that are spoken about all over the world. You stop and people can tell you about Jamestown, but you can't go there. I tried going into Jamestown. I said, well, listen, I wasn't there when Jim Jones was there. Jonestown, sorry. Yes, a mistake is all right. It's a mistake just like this budget. Listen, let me tell you something. Nothing exists there as it relates to Jonestown. You cannot go in there and find anything. In fact, there's so much bush and trees before you get there that it is extremely difficult to go there. And I'm hoping that the cultural industry in this country does not become another Jonestown story. Honorable members, let me tell you something. The theater and members of theater, they have been surviving on crutches. And because in that industry, we are a family, we have to hold each other up. So if somebody's crutch breaks, it therefore means that the person, therefore means that culture is suffering and continues to suffer. I particularly went through what we have to offer. And let me tell you what are some of the things that I see missing. Before Mr. Ramson, during the time of his honorable colleague, we had Drama Festival. And let me tell you this here today, honorable members. Drama Festival is not just a festival where people come together and write scripts and they perform. Drama Festival is one of the ways that help to save the culture. Because very many people would like to put on a show at the cultural center. And people ask why there aren't very many shows at the culture center. Outside of the fact that the minister is micromanaging the entire culture center, one of the reasons is because it is extremely expensive. And when you go to the business community, they don't really do much for you unless you're extremely popular and you know somebody who can help you because of you. You understand me? So that there puts bread in the mouth of those people who are in the arts. But the Honorable Minister has decided that he's going to remove Drama Festival. So now our young budding actors, singers, dancers, and so on, those opportunities are gone. And that, honorable members of this House, is a sad state of affairs. Now, let me tell you, I went through a couple of things and I thought maybe because of the lacking in this particular area, I should help the honorable member, because as a member of this House, my job is not to come here to create enemies in as much as it isn't to come to create friends, but to ensure that the people of this country are properly represented, to ensure that the people of this country get what they deserve. And the cultural industry is dying. In as much as the honorable member would have these shows once a year, it only covers a certain sector. So you might only get actors. There might be nothing for dancers. Matrimony and these times are the only times that you have cultural activities. Right? And where do you as a Guyanese, if you're interested in learning how to do flouncing, in having a deeper understanding of all these different colorful people that we see on the road, there is absolutely no place that can happen, honorable members. And that says that we're in a sad state. Nothing in this budget, absolutely nothing in this people-centered budget is for the people who are part of the arts. You know, I listened to the presentation of Honorable Jacobs, and I would like to take a little excerpt from what was said. Because before getting to this House, if there is one thing that irks me greatly, is the fact that political parties in this country, if they did not build something or it's not their brainchild, they leave it to fall apart. And that is unfortunate, because it is not the political party who suffers as a result, but the people of this country who suffers as a result. You know, I heard the Honorable mention the legacy of the PNC's Durban Park. Additionally, he said the athletes are in there hanging out clothes. Now, the only people in there hanging out clothes are persons who are homeless, people who have a disability, and all of these sorts of things. They have nowhere to go. Their family is throwing them out, drug addicts. Those are not people that we make fun of, honorable members. We should not descend to such a place where we look down on people because of the position that they are placed in. I did not appreciate that for 1 second. Now, let me tell you, honorable member Jacobs, I didn't say that because I mean ill, but I'm hoping that you do better. However, I must tell you that in my preparations to get here, I found out about how things are going as it relates to both ministers, because I want to represent people. And based on what the people on the ground are saying, Jacobs is actually the minister that's trying. The other minister that was there, he ain't trying nothing. Nothing. So I thank you very much, at least for putting effort as it relates to sports in this country. Now, that honorable member has no understanding of sports. When he was at QC and they play a little scrubby outside, he come in with knee guard, shin pad, all sorts of things. That honorable member is the only person in this country tag up to go and play a scrubby. So he has no understanding of how these things work. But I additionally want to say that while this ministry focuses on sports and culture, it also affects the mothers. It affects the fathers who got to go around and beg. They can't afford pegs for the children. You understand me? It is unfortunate. Deportees. Speaking about deportees, honorable member, I notice you have a vested interest in deportees. So I brought this article here for you, honorable member, that says, let me read it, Stabrook News, dated November 4, 2009. U.S. visa was revoked from Honorable Kwame McCoy. Because you interested. You think you're an arm of the US government. And to continue, honorable members, because I am here today to represent the youths that we are failing in this honorable house.
Honorable member, the Honorable Minister of Parliamentary Affairs is on her feet.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. The honorable member needs to retract her statement. The honorable member has a U.S. visa. We do not.
I dated. It is dated. It is dated.
Honorable Minister, the honorable member is quoting from a 2009 Stabrook News article, right? Saying that the visa was revoked in 2009.
I don't know where our sources are from. Where's the source? What is the source?
Could be Stabrook News article.
November 4, 2009.
Is that our sources now? Mr. Speaker.
Continue, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Appreciated. Mr. Speaker, I have a list of recommendations, even though I will include some in between the presentation. But let me tell you something. I would like to draw your attention, Mr. Speaker, to two men who have been helping, who have been assisting people as it relates to sports, because we have no policy that covers our young athletes. There is a young man in the USA who answers to the name Andy Madaz King. And there's a gentleman who passed just a few months ago. That man has been a powerhouse and a champion, and I'm sure that honorable member of sports can attest to that. And his name was Joseph Ramkumar. Mr. Joseph Ramkumar is one of those people who we have sportsmen and women who go over there. Oh my God, the mother can't afford things. The father can't afford things. And I am saying that if we had a policy in place, we would not be in this position. Because in as much as there is all this excitement and grandeur when our artists come back in the country from performing overseas and they hang these wonderful medals around their necks, for which we are proud of as a nation. That is all that they are getting in very many cases, because very many of them did not have the money to go there. We got to go to the business community. We got to go to auntie. We got to beg. They got to call overseas. And we cannot be the fastest growing economy in the world and have our athletes and our artists living like beggars in this country. It is disgraceful and despicable. And I do hope, because I do know...
Honorable member, I thought you said at the beginning you read all of these words that are...
Which one is it, sir?
Right?
Oh, the grace. Sorry, sir.
Amazing grace.
Amazing grace. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My humble apologies. It's a lot of words, and we were only given it on the first day. I'm trying to remember as much as I could. To continue, I remember your visa was taken. To continue, honorable members, one of the things that we have to look at, honorable members, is our coaches. Oh my God, we have coaches who dedicate their lives to the children in this country. You understand me? When they don't have the coaches go out of their way. I have never met a wealthy coach in my life in this country. Never. And those are people who give, who assist, who aid in ensuring that our athletes go out there and do well. But as I was saying, we go to the airport and the honorable member puts on a fantastic show where they have all the steel pan beating and all of these sorts of things. Oh my God, if we had a policy in place, it would have informed what those people will be getting. If you come home with a gold medal, if you can get a house lot, or if you can get a house, or if we can give you a car. But there is nothing that informs that. So when that grandeur is finished for that one day, it is finished. That cannot be acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. One of the things I noted within the budget is the $1 billion and change that is put to maintaining and upkeeping the grounds, the community center grounds in this country. Listen, when I read that, I thought that this guy may very well be a comedian and he doesn't know it as well. When you go around this country and you look at the deplorable state, this honorable member she's not here, Nima Flubest brought a picture with cows and so on out there having a frolicking time. The place without light. You understand me? Now we are talking about the fastest growing economy. And we cannot feel comfortable as citizens of this country to think that all that matters is that you got a ball field, the grass low, you put some lights. That is development. Where do they go? Where do they go to ensure that they do the little washing off, the warming up and all of that? We have not put systems in place for these sorts of things because our thinking is not futuristic. You have Bartica, for example. I'm a Bartician by birth, honorable members. And in Bartica, I can tell you that nothing looks significantly different from when I was a child growing up there. And how could we have billions of dollars, year come, year go, and it is not reflected in the way our country looks? No, nobody's saying that we don't appreciate, nobody's saying that we don't appreciate the work that the ministry is doing. But we would appreciate greatly if it is done with holistic thought that covers everything. We have the beautiful synthetic ground across there. But do we have everything as it relates to international standards? I heard our honorable, don't say yes, sir, it's not true. I heard our honorable member, Sarah, speaking about our member across here as it relates to the indigenous peoples. And let me tell you something. Well, whether or not he's a little Maruka boy, he got a big Maruka heart. And that is what is important. Now, let me tell you something. When we talk about sports and culture, tell me where that is represented across this country. Point to the Amerindian community, because those children, their bodies of water everywhere. So they're swimming since they come out. You understand me? There's nobody who's going to say, let us put a system in place where we can train these young men and train these young women so that they can come back with gold medals from the Olympics. That does not take rocket science, honorable members of this house. We cannot continue to fail our young people like that. As it relates to youth, you know what is sad? You know what is sad? We have Minister Onage building a police station that is 5 or 6 stories high. But point me to the building that is 5 or 6 stories high as it relates to rehabilitation of these young men and women who have been committing crimes. That cannot be a budget that caters to the people of this country. Which people? There exists no center for the purpose of education, learning, upliftment, empowerment of any sort that is so many stories high. So clearly we are preparing for criminals, the house criminals and so on. So we are building bigger prisons, bigger police stations, bigger housing places, and we have every single day in the news, repeat offender. If that does not say something to the Minister of Youth, I don't know who it is going to say something to. What system in this budget do you have that caters for that? Absolutely none, honorable members. We look at it's so difficult to get information in this country. Every bit of information you get got to be from some long time ago in terms of stats. But in 2001, the Guyana Police Force published some information that really is not much information, but they publish. And in that report, what it said is that over 60 young people below the age of 30 were arrested for committing crimes within this country. And if that does not say that we have to take a different approach as it relates to what we are doing with our... Now understand me, honorable members. I understand my honorable friend, Mr. McCoy, may have difficulty understanding. But try at least to try. At least to try. Now let me tell you, honorable members, I will talk to y'all over here. Y'all listen to me too because I'm with y'all, but when I stand up this way, I'm seeing a certain face. So let me tell you something, honorable members. We have got to do better When we have more of our young men and women, we look at things like teenage pregnancy. We look at things like school dropouts. I live in an area where I've reported, I've called. And there's been one time that I did reach out to the Honorable Member, Vindia Prasad. And I cannot lie, she did respond promptly, and I applaud her for that. There was a young mother and her child that came in the wee hours of the night with a situation. And I don't know what the minister doing up at that hour. I was very happy that she was up, but she did what she had to do. But these people, even though those specific situations may come under that ministry, we're still talking about young people. And who's the minister that's covering youth? This cannot be the way that we continue to operate within this country. Right, but he is not able to direct because we have another person there who wants to have his own way all the time. Now, if I may continue, honorable members, because with all of this distraction, it's so difficult to keep up. Let me tell you what I have done.
Honorable member, you may continue for 5 minutes, but conclude.
Yes, what story is this? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Now, you know, when I look at the budget, honorable members, it took me back to the saying right now that a lot of people are using. You know, I wanted to ask the Honorable Ramson how you deal with Rasta, sir. You don't give we nothing. You don't do nothing for our young people within this country, and it is unfortunate. Now, what I have put together is a list of suggestions. Unfortunately, in the interest of time, I may not be able to go through all of them, but let me go through a couple of them. One of the things I listed here is to teach Guyanese history, folklore, and so on within our schools. And I do believe that that is one of the things that our ministry needs to ensure that they do. To look at local language, proverbs, storytelling, and our heroes and so on should be included in our education system. I do believe that those things help not only with ensuring that our culture is preserved, but also to help people to have some sense of identity in terms of who we are as a people. As well as grants should be given for short films, stage plays, documentaries, dancing, painters, writers, and so forth. Those are people who are starving for help within the industry. As well as tax incentives or breaks for artists who produce local content within Guyana. Most important and urgent, of course, is putting together the policy. I do remember that in 2016, APNU had this guy who was supposed to create the policy, and the policy is, well, there's no policy. And then the PPP took that same guy to create the policy, and here we are in 2026 with no policy. So we definitely need to look to having those things in place, as well as it relates to sports, to look at giving incentives to our coaches, to ensure that across this country, be it Berbice, Bartica, Essequibo, Lethem, wherever it is, that sporting coaches are trained and are placed within those communities. Georgetown, our Region 4, is not Guyana. Guyana extends to an additional 9 regions, and that needs to be represented and replicated everywhere. Additionally, the coaches, do something for the coaches now. Rothschilds, thank you. So additionally, I'm trying to ensure that I have everything. As it relates to statistics and the data and so on, I think it's important that we get those things out there as well so that we can understand how to fix the problem. We cannot fix a problem that we do not know how much of it exists, where it exists, and so forth. So those sorts of analytical data is very, very important. I'm really trying to rush through all that I have to say. But more importantly, as a Guyanese and as a citizen of this country, 2 more minutes. As a Guyanese, as a citizen of this country, I think that it is the onus of us as representatives of the people, regardless of how many people voted for us or did not vote for us, love us or support us. If we are seated here within this house, it is because the people have a certain degree of confidence in us. And that confidence must be represented in what we give to our people. We cannot, it is sad that in very many ways people say, oh, this politics or this is how politicians stay. I do not appreciate that for 1 second. How politicians should stay is in the way that caters to love for country and love for people. In concluding, I would like to leave a little something that I picked up along the way. So to conclude, I will leave some of my thoughts as well as some of the thoughts as from our honorable member, Charles Ramson, as it relates to this budget and how it looks and how it represents the people and whether or not the budget of 2026 is for the people. And that is, when failures come, they come in battalions. Thank you, members of Parliament.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Member, Ms. Odessa Primus. Before I invite the Honorable Minister, Culture, Youth and Sport, I just want to recognize 3 special young people, Ms. Aria Murley, Ms. Javel Atterley, and Master Obama Prosper. Just stand, let us acknowledge you. Please. Two of those young people I know all of their lives, and young Obama, his grandmother and I grow much, and he's born in the same street I was born with me, at James and Hawk Street, Alboystown. Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Honorable Charles Ramson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, after listening to the Honorable Member, Ms. Odessa Primus, I heard this morning that the Leader of the Opposition had some migraines. Having listened to Ms. Odessa's presentation and her being the General Secretary that he is faced with, I can understand why he is getting migraines. Mr. Speaker, as a 3-time MP, as a 2-time minister, as a 2-time cabinet member, I am very pleased, and it's a privilege to support the largest budget in this country's history. And I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Minister Ashni Singh and his team at the Ministry of Finance, His Excellency President Irfan Ali, and the Vice President for crafting this budget, and for all of the successes that we've had. Because this is not an ordinary budget, Mr. Speaker. This is a budget that comes immediately after our first successful 5 years in government. And after that first 5 years, we saw the decimation of the opposition at the end of that election. And the politics and our economics are the same. They are connected. It is very important that when we come and present our budget to this country, it is how this budget is framed and how it is connected to people. The true test will always come when the people have their say. And what did they say on September 1st? They said quite clearly that instead of having a 1-seat majority that we had in 2020, we now have a 7-seat majority. The 242,000 votes that we obtained, our nearest competitor had 109,000 votes. That's 130,000 plus votes difference. We won 8 out of 10 regions, and we won Region 4 for the first time. I want to place that on record. And I want to thank all of the people across this country who supported us. We are grateful for your support, all of you everywhere. And on the other hand, we have APNU, who moved from 31 seats to 12. They moved from 217,000 votes to 77,000 votes. And they were just in government 5 years ago. And now they're not even the largest party in opposition. And we faced all of this criticism for 5 years. I've heard for 5 years they would come and criticize this People's Progressive Party government budget every single time that they would make this presentation. And now the truth has been revealed. What do people think? People re-endorse this People's Progressive Party government, His Excellency President Irfan Ali, for a second term and a wider margin. And I don't really care what the honorable members, people like Tabitha, Miss Odessa, the honorable members, Dwarte, Sherrod, and Natasha Singh Lewis, a number of them. I don't really care what they have to say because they've held more parties than hits and jams. And I hate to break this to you, but you changing your parties. Changing your parties will bring no benefit to who you are or what you bring to your party. It will result in the same thing, because all of your efforts resulting in the shrinking of the PNC. Can you imagine today that the PNC is not even allowed by Win more than 15 minutes to speak here? Not even allowed a shadow ministry. They don't even get to speak on the final day. That is what has transpired here. And our governance in the last 5 years has changed this country in a way that will change it forever. We have now been campaigning in areas that hitherto we were unable to do that. We are now comfortable in every single community because we worked in every single community for the last 5 years, every single day, every single month, every single year. So that even when we were campaigning, they asked for our shirts, they asked for our flags, they put it up, and they voted for us. Now, and I want you to know, when I said to this house, go back to the Hansard, I said we would beat them by at least 3 seats. We did that. And I'm going to say it now. We're going to beat you at the next election with a larger margin. And I'm very happy that the AFC is no longer part of this parliament. I'm very happy not to see sticky fingers over there. Miss Video Mega, who used to show me middle finger in this parliament and hold up signs. I'm very happy, and all of you contributed to the decline of the AFC. The same person who is talking right now. The only person who I will miss, and I just want you to know, I'll miss Annette. I miss Annette. Just let you know, if you're watching, I know you're watching. And from the Win side, I want you to also know this has been a very disappointing, and not disappointing because I didn't expect better, but it's been an abysmal performance. This has been an abysmal performance. Incoherent arguments, struggling to read their scripts, no economic analysis, no cost-benefit analysis, no policy debate, nothing, no understanding of the numbers, just a bunch of non-entities, people that we don't even know their names. And what it has proven is that you are not even ready for opposition. You are not shadows, you are shallows. And the fact that 2 days before this budget, you have to go and put up a picture with Christopher Ram, or I shouldn't even call the name, but with that person showing that you are preparing for the budget, seeing the budget for the first time. It is an embarrassment. You are embarrassing yourselves, and you need to stop it. And who are they taking advice from? A bunch of PPP haters and deadweights. People who have never won an election before. And if you choose a comedian as your general secretary, nobody will ever take you seriously. And I want you to know something as well. Not because you have been a comedian, it makes you an expert in culture. And for all of the people who came over to the Win Party, just so that you know, if you can be bought by someone, you can be bought by anyone. You have no loyalty to the Mohammeds. You have no loyalty to the Win. The Win is not built on a foundation. As soon as he disappears, you will disappear too. You are loyal to his pocket. I want you to know, we on this side of the house, we can't be bought. I certainly can't be bought.
Mr. Speaker,
Go ahead, Honorable Member.
I'm standing up on 41-6. Mr. Speaker, the member is there imputing improper motive to the entire Win team, and I would ask that you take that statement off of the record, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, I can't uphold that point of order because on all sides we've been talking about the name of the political parties, and that has been allowed. The second point there would have been the surname or the first name that he used, and with the use of Great Bishop, nor name of, or Flubest doesn't directly speak to any honorable member. Go ahead, Honorable Minister.
Yet another display of incompetence and unfamiliarity with the rules. Unfamiliarity with the rules. I said this when we came here. I said they're going to hold us to account. People who have never had any experience in government or don't know a clue of what they're going to talk about, they can hold a government to account. Give me a break. Non-entities and non-achievers. We have not even heard from anyone on the other side that we are going to have to spend less money from oil in this economy this year. No one from their side has mentioned that. And it's very important. When we're talking about the development of a country, we know that we found oil here in this country in 2015. We started to produce in 2019, 2020. We started to spend oil money in this economy 2022, 2023. Countries that have done well have had the maturity from an opposition so that you can have sensible discussions about how you plan for the future. You cannot have a sensible discussion with this group. None whatsoever. They haven't even mentioned that. All they're talking about is how you can spend more oil money, but at the same time, they want us to hold back spending on infrastructure. How is the country going to develop? How is the country going to develop? You have to make a decision. Do we want to develop the country or not? Do we want to live in a developed country or not? How are you going to make the investment? And that lower oil revenue is just an example of what can come in the future. Because the fact is that commodity prices are cyclical in nature. All oil economies have been affected. They have been affected when they have had lower oil prices. And I want to just point to the fact that the way that we have been managing it is that where we spend on the capital expenditure, it means that we have the ability to lower that lever. Lower that lever if we need to, so you can scale it up back during the good days. But the fact is that last year we earned about 2 billion. The previous year we earned about 2 billion. That is not a lot of money. That is not a lot of money. We are nowhere near where we need to be. Our factors and the fundamentals of our economic growth is not there yet. We have to keep building. We have to keep investing because we have to build a sustainable and resilient economy. Resilient. That is why read the speech. Read the speech that Minister Ashley wrote and presented, and listen to the president speak. Listen to the vice president speak. They speak about building a sustainable but resilient economy. The fundamentals. We have to keep investing in our energy. What are they talking about in relation to that? We don't have enough. You think 300 megawatts on for the gas to power project is enough to build a resilient economy? It's not. You have to get more power. You think on the connectivity, the bridges, all of the factors of productivity, the opening up of land and highways, you think we have all of what we need right now? We don't. The honorable member Sharma Solomon and their group on that side is saying we shouldn't be spending so much on infrastructure, but yet he's calling for a bridge over the Berbice River. It means that you need to spend more money on the infrastructure. So, CN Sharma, relax. Relax. And the point is, the main point is, I want you to understand something. On the extreme case is a country called, hold on. There is a country called Nauru in the Pacific Ocean. Listen, there's a country called Nauru in the Pacific Ocean. The country was the richest country in the 1970s because they found phosphate. And listen, man, let me finish, the man. And then this was the richest country. And they went down the road. I'm going to use the extreme situation so you understand what are the risks and the perils we face if we do not make the right decisions. They were the richest country in the 1970s, had a higher GDP per capita than the United States of America in the 1970s. They used to walk around with money in pillowcases on their back. And today they are one of the poorest countries in the world. Why? Because they did not use their bounty for their investment. They have to take the revenue. God blessed us. God blessed us. We have to take the revenue and we use it towards investment. And the resilient investment is our human capital, yes. Read the book, The Birth of Plenty, and also read the book, A Splendid Exchange. Both written by William Bernstein. You will understand. I know you don't read. I know you over there don't read. Readers are leaders. Read it and you will understand why it is.
You know I don't read?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, on the opposition side.
You're speaking to me.
On the opposition side. Readers are leaders. You have to understand why we have to make this investment now. You think we don't want to be a popular government and just distribute everything? We're already distributing a whole lot, but we have to balance our investment with our distribution. That's why all of our grants have increased, but that's why we have to continue to invest. Now, Mr. Speaker, I want to turn now to over the last 5 years, how we have done at the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. Because what is important, the same criticism that we had from Miss Odessa Primus, she, despite the fact that the APNU AFC removed the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, they disbanded it. She was a supporter of the APNU. She was a supporter. You didn't love young people then. You didn't love their voices then. You never said anything about that. That's right, Vic. I want everybody to understand, when we restored this ministry, it was because we knew at the level of the People's Progressive Party, we knew how important this ministry was then and that it is now. It must have a say at the level of the cabinet. And because of that too, I want to welcome Stephen. I want to also welcome James. And I also want to acknowledge the hard work, another MP, the Director of Youth. I will take a Suresh Singh over all of y'all combined on my team. All of y'all combined. We undertook the responsibility of building 5 stadiums, and those are huge undertakings. In fact, and all of those stadiums will be open this year. And I want to be clear, the first one is happening on Saturday. It is going to be a huge event, and it's beautiful. It is a really, really beautiful facility. There are very few countries in Bayrock in Linden, after they lied to the people. Sharma, Solomon, honorable member, and all of the other PNC people, they lied to the people in Linden, or they told falsehood.
You reminded us this is the start of your second term as a minister, and you were here before.
I withdraw the word. I withdraw the word lie, and I say they misinformed. They misinformed to say that the track would be finished in 2018 or 2019 or 2020, and they never even purchased the synthetic material. Take that to your bank and bank it. And you were the mayor. You were the mayor. You are also responsible for wind coming and take over Linden. You weren't a mayor. You were not a M-A-Y-O-R. You were a M-A-R-E. And I will tell you, the most important point I will tell you too, is that these stadiums, 4 of these stadiums will cost less than the cost of the Durban Park project. And most important, $600 million that was unaccounted for, that is not happening in our ministry. In the last 5 years, we invested in over 600 community grounds across this country. And I want to tell the young man from Region 1, I'm not going to call his name, he's a young man, and quite frankly, he hasn't earned that privilege as yet. You say you want to get rich, You also said that you're worried about young people and being led the wrong way. He doesn't even know that you are already being led the wrong way. You're following a man who is sanctioned at the highest level, who is now a fugitive offender, who has committed almost every possible wrong. You're following that man, and you're worried about young people being led astray. And when you talk about being rich, it is for that reason that the People's Progressive Party has the development of the development bank in our manifesto. That's why, in fact, we don't even want only for people to be rich. We want people, Guyanese people, to be wealthy. And there's a difference. Wealthy is permanent richness. Richness that you could pass on to your children. That's why we distributed over 50,000 house lots in the last 5 years. And we will build over 40,000 homes. We want people to pass on their wealth to their children. And this year we will spend another 1.2 billion on community grounds. Last year, well, over the last 5 years, we lit 145 grounds in this country. They set us a target of 25. We did 145 grounds. We started for the first time in this country. A national sports academy categorized into core and non-core sports. We built strong relationships with sports associations, and all of the sports associations have issued their support for us, this ministry, the budget, because they know how they have benefited. Importantly as well, we started tracking and measuring how many medals our athletes started to secure. They have never been tracked before. In the last 3 years alone, we have secured over 1,000 international and regional medals by our athletes. That is the history. Athletes are doing better now than they have ever done before under the People's Progressive Party leadership. We modernized the sports hall. In 2024, I want people to know this. In 2024, we held 29 international sporting events in this country, and last year it was 33. They don't even understand how difficult that is. And I want to thank all of the members from the ministry who are here. Thank you very much. To do 33 international sporting events in a country, that is more than one every other week. More than one every other week. That is driving tourism into our country. Development of athletes, development of talent, so that they can get exposure to higher levels of competition, better levels of coaching. We obtained in the last 5 years as well, importantly as well, teams departed in 2023. We started measuring 2023, 36 times. In 2004, they left these shores 73 times. In 2025, it was 102 times sporting teams left this country. We have spent over $1 billion on sports associations and teams leaving this country in the last 5 years. Over $1 billion. We obtained for the first time something we wanted, the CPL finals and semi-finals. And we also won. By the way, we obtained that at no cost to the Treasury. No cost to the Treasury. We also won the CPL for the first time. Our cricketers are now being scouted and playing in international franchise leagues, getting paid more money than they've ever done before. We're talking about athletes and coaches. And I will tell you one of them, if it wasn't for the fact that Shamar Joseph didn't play in that CPL where we had identified his talent, he would not have made it to the West Indies team and then also become the MVP for that tournament when West Indies beat Australia. We also hosted 2 World Cups, 2 Cricket World Cups. And in the last one, we were judged the best host, most organized. We held the CAC Bodybuilding Championship in over a decade, and we issued for the first time with the international body pro cards right here. Right here. And also, the first one that was issued here was won by a Guyanese. And since then, 7 pro cards have been issued, and we now have a world champion in Rosanna Fong. Someone who we identified early and invested in and supported so that she can become the world champion. Now, because of our bilateral relationships with our ambassadors in other countries, we were able to get our elite program going, including last year, we had Olympic gold medal winner, Felix Sanchez, come and coach our athletes here. Hall of Famer came to this country. We never even thought that could happen. Hakeem Olajuwon. And we did that again, no cost to the ministry, no cost to the government. Our football team is now, or was in the League A for CONCACAF. It was in League A for the CONCACAF, which was the first time ever, the highest level that we've ever been. We're talking about it. We've had 15,000 participants in the Learn to Swim program, including persons with disabilities. 15,000 persons. And I want to commend Steve and all the team from the National Sports Commission. We constructed for the first time and is now the best doubles court in the entire region for squash. We got elected at the in Paris for the UNESCO Fund for the elimination of doping in sport. We held sports conferences for the first time, and just last year we had our first black tie gala for our sports awards. We reintroduced the Guyana Games, the Inter-Guyana Games, which the APNU AFC killed. They killed it. We passed 2 pieces of legislation, including the much desired Horse Racing Authority Act. We completed the draft for the sports policy, and it will be approved by Cabinet this year. We obtained approval and held the Guyana's Global Super League. The Global Super League, which was something that totally organic to us, and it's now a successful tournament. We distributed more gears in this country's history. We have done more distribution of sports gears than we have ever had in this country's history. Yes, people will always want more, and it's important for us to do more.
Honorable Minister, the distribution of time says you'll need 5 minutes to conclude, so you have that.
There is a lot more that I could speak about for sport, but I also want to speak about culture because the honorable member spoke about some things, but I also need to speak about some of the work that we've been doing. The Guyana Prize for Literature, after APNU AFC abandoned it, stopped funding it, same group of people that the honorable member cares so much said nothing for 5 years when APNU was in power. We restored it, Mr. Speaker. And we added new categories. Now it's being held annually. We added a youth category and a non-fiction category. We also turned that into a literature festival, a build-out of an entire festival. That is what we are doing for culture. We sat with the drama folks. She spoke about the drama festival. In 2023, up until 10 o'clock at night, we sat with the drama folks and we worked with them on the Right to Stage initiative, where the government funds their drama plays. And out of that, we choose those plays come from the Guyana Prize for Literature. And we fund that, and all of the revenue is kept for them. Since then, we have held 9 successful, critically acclaimed plays. The same ICA that we left, but that Dr. Frank started, honorable member, when he left in 2014. They did nothing to get that ICA, the Institute of Creative Arts, accredited. They did nothing. In fact, the honorable member, Natasha Singh Lewis, said it couldn't be done. It couldn't be done right here in this parliament. We got that registered with the National Accreditation Council. We took our independence flag raising ceremony all across this country for the first time. We did it in Region 2, Region 9, Region 10, Region 6, and it was a huge success. APNU criticized it. We did them all, and our cultural performances are now totally fantastic. It is modernized, it is refreshing, and I would like to thank our Department of Culture for all of the work that they have done. And I also want to thank Andrew Tyndall and the team there, and Alana Sibaran, who has worked on this. To unlock new talent, we did the Guyana Talent Search. And then we also had at Carifesta and the World Expo in Dubai and Japan, we had the best performances there. We had the best performances there. Persons who are involved in our programs are doing better now than they have ever done before. They are earning a good living. They're buying homes, they're buying cars, or doing renovations. All of that is happening. Now, we started the youth culture camps where over 1,000 young people have already been trained. And I want to assure the honorable member, Mr. Black Pudding, that the IPADG, first of all, that it was the People's Progressive Party that voted to support the International Decade of People of African Descent in 2013. It was also the People's Progressive Party that voted to extend the decade for the people of African descent. And we have also extended our support. We have also extended our support where the 100 million will remain in our budget for the people of African descent. And hundreds of groups have already obtained funding, direct funding. He didn't have a problem when just a few persons from IPADG were getting it. 60% of it was eaten up in administrative costs. And they only used to get between 60 to 100,000. Now those groups get $2.2 million. It is our president who is leading the charge for reparations in this country. Remind me, what did former President David Granger do for reparations? It was President Ali that has led the charge and is doing it globally. But you don't like it because he comes from the People's Progressive Party. We have used our bilateral relations to extend our cultural programs. In our cultural and creative industries grants, hundreds of young people have received funding from our cultural and creative industries grant, for which $120 million was distributed. We completed the modernization of the National Trust Act, and I had the pleasure of speaking with the Attorney General, who has said that it will be ready for passage this term. We did 40 meetings of hard work to build internally that bill. We did that. That bill is now ready. That is what will help us with the preservation of our culture and our heritage.
Honorable Minister, you will have to wind up.
Mr. Speaker, for young people in this country too, I want to congratulate our youth department. In the last 5 years, we have trained from PYARG that APNU killed. Over 15,000 young people trained in that program. From our robotics and coding, we trained close to 8,500 young people. That is how we are making a difference in young people's lives. In our VAX program, we have engaged over 100,000 young people because we are focused on community-oriented work. Over 100,000 in the last 5 years. My conscience is clear in relation to the development that our ministry and this government is driving towards the area of culture, youth, and sport, because it is multi-sectoral. It is a great privilege and a great pleasure. I can speak for a long time ad nauseum about all of the tremendous work that we have been doing in the last 5 years. But you will have another long 5 years when we remain in this government, and a long 30 years after that, because we will continue to work with all of the people in this country to bring development and to make this country one of the most prosperous countries in the world, and for all Guyanese to benefit. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Ramson. And let us now take the Honorable Minister, Pandit Vic Ram Cassoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, now, sir, the honor is now mine to make my contributions on this ongoing budget debate for the fiscal year 2026 under the theme, Putting People First. Sir, before I substantively argue in favor of this budget, I wish to first of all thank our most distinguished and our most veteran colleague, the Honorable Dr. Ashni Kumar Singh, Senior Minister with responsibilities to finance in the Office of the President, for continuously making us proud with your team, your staff members from the Ministry of Finance, and of course, all the other members of the public service. Mr. Speaker, this $1.558 trillion budget, the sole objective of these allocations is to improve the lives of every Guyanese citizen. Mr. Speaker, as one of the geographic members of Parliament from Region Number 3, representing the people of Region 3 from the People's Progressive Party Civic, I, along with all my other colleagues on this side of the House, and by extension the Guyanese people, would first of all like to thank Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, our General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, for his dynamic, for his impactful leadership which has significantly, sir, shaped this very great nation of ours for decades. Mr. Speaker, every policy elucidated in this budget is aimed, sir, for the people, because at the center of every initiative that the People's Progressive Party Civic is involved in, it lies the people of this country. Mr. Speaker, as a resident of Region 3, like myself, many, almost all, if not every Guyanese citizen knows the difficulties that we had encountered with the old Demerara River Bridge. Because for hours sometimes, because of lack of proper infrastructure, we spent hours in traffic, difficulties we had. And this government, led by the People's Progressive Party Civic, constructed the new Demerara Harbor Bridge, named the Bharat Jagdeo Demerara River Bridge, sir, because, Mr. Speaker, for us, the people of this country is first. And more importantly, sir, all the bridges are toll-free because everything that this government does lies the people of this country, sir. Sir, these budgetary allocations are not just numbers that are affixed to programs. But these programs, Mr. Speaker, they were all done in such a way because we have a commitment to the people of this country. The people of this country, sir, voted for the People's Progressive Party Civic continuously because the people of this nation trust the People's Progressive Party Civic. Trust is not something that is built just like that, because the numbers we see, the configuration of this National Assembly, sir, speaks to the trust of the people. And the people of this country, sir, continuously demonstrates that they trust the leadership and the People's Progressive Party Civic. Sir, so this victory that we had, this landslide victory that we had in the 2025 1st of September general and region election, sir, is no accident. It is because in 2020, we committed to the people of this country, we delivered to the people of this country, sir, and again, sir, based on that, we went back to the people, and the people delivered for us because we have delivered for the people. Sir, it is important for us to understand, and the people of this country to know, the difference between the political parties that we have representing them in this National Assembly. Let me first start, Mr. Speaker, a couple of days, the Honorable Member, Vishnu Pandey. He made a quote in this National Assembly, sir, and he tried to use the Hindu religion, Mr. Speaker, to make a political point, but it was larger than that. But when he quoted, Mr. Speaker, I want to turn to the quote, exact quote that he made, sir. And in that quote, he said, from the Hansard, he said, sir, Mr. McCoy, and he said, I will explain to you, Mr. McCoy, you went to my mandir, but you did not learn anything. You went there and you ate plenty 7 curry, but you yet did not learn nothing because your head hard. Mr. Speaker, after I'm finished today, the people of this country will know whose head is hard. Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Mr. Speaker, I have in my hands here Tulsidas's Ramcharitmanas, edited and translated into Hindi and English by R.C. Prasad, professor at Patna University. Mr. Speaker, and this was published by one of the best sellers on Indian civilization, Motilal Banaras publication, one of the largest, best publication on any of these texts. And I'll quote what he said, sir. He said, sir, that is Hindi he's speaking. But sir, he did not speak Hindi because this very text is translated in Hindi. He spoke there, sir, Awadhi. He doesn't even know the language he spoke. Sir, and here it's Awadhi written here, sir. Parahit sari sa dharma nahi bhai. And he even said it wrong. He said, Parapira sama dukh mahi. The text didn't say dukh mahi. The text says, Parahit sari sa dharma nahi bhai. Parapira sama nahi adhamai. And let me give you the Hindi, sir. They are misrepresenting in this National Assembly even a holy text.
Honorable member,
Mr. Speaker,
don't impute.
I am not imputing,
Every one of
sir.
us could make a
Sir,
mistake.
Mr. Speaker, with all respect to you, sir, I am stating the facts from the text. And I may saying that he misrepresented. And misrepresenting, sir, in legal parlance, there are consequences.
In the
Misrepresent,
house, in
Mr.
the
Speaker,
house,
of course.
in the house,
All right, sir. I'm so guided.
I determine.
I'm so guided, sir.
Okay.
Parupakar ke samne, and this is Hindi. Sir, that was Awadhi, which was wrongly quoted in this house. Right? And now I'm giving him the Hindi. Parupakar ke samne koi dharma nahi. That is Hindi. Here. और दूसरों के पीड़ों को पहुंचाने के सामने कोई पाप नहीं. वह हिंदी है जी. And what it means, the greatest blessing is to do good for others. And it didn't even mean what he said. He said something different. He gave a different meaning. He spoke the wrong language, he said. And then again, sir, that is Hindi. Mr. Speaker, sir, you hold up. I got to talk with you just now. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will speak another language for him. And that is Sanskrit. He said, Aham sarva bhuteshu name dveshu stinapriya. Mr. Speaker, I'll explain it. You know what it says? That in the eyes of God, we are all one. And that is the tradition I follow. So all that you see you bring here and you talk about racism and this and that, what we are told and learn in the PPP is that every person is the same in the eyes of God and in the eyes of all of us. So when you come here to speak language that is coded, sir, that they speak language that is coded to divide, Mr. Speaker, we are guided on that principle. But before I close on this question, sir, I have one thing more to say, and permit me, sir, because he said, I don't know a word of Hindi. I'm responding to him, the honorable member. And I'm saying here, permit me, sir, to say it in Hindi. Mananiya Adhyaksh Mahoday. I will explain just now. आदरणीय सदस्य माननीय विष्णु पांडे, मैं अभी इसी वक्त उनको चुनौती देता हूं कि किसी भी स्तर पर किसी भी जगह पे जाकर के विषय वो तय करेंगे, और मैं जितनी डिबेट में करना चाहते हैं, बहस करना चाहते हैं, वो तय करेंगे जी, और मैं जाकर के डिबेट करूंगा बिना कागज देख करके. I'll explain it now. Would you hold up? What I will say, sir, is that I'm challenging the honorable gentleman to come on any television he wants, any place he wishes, and to have a debate in Hindi language with me without not looking at a paper. And if he do so, he eats salts from the party he comes from. But you know what that represents, sir? A larger question that is before all of us here. Because in my estimation, Mr. Speaker, every other thing he said, who in this earth will believe him? And if, Mr. Speaker, if for 40 odd years he's learning this and he can't get it right, well, Kwame only went one day. So you determine who had really hard. Determine who had really hard. So every other question that you raise, sir, on Gaisuku, we will answer it. But Mr. Speaker, that speaks to this political party here. Because, sir, there's a report here, and the chronological sequence of your party must be understood. And this here is the Reuters report. The Reuters report, sir, is dated 14th of July, 2023. The contents of this report, sir, the standing orders will not permit me to say it, because it deals with serious issues of law. Again, Mr. Speaker, the Department of Justice, anything done. The U.S. Department of Justice, Mr. Speaker, after issuing their sanction, Mr. Speaker, it is after that OPAC sanction that something called WIN developed. Before that, there was no political party, sir. And therefore, the goal got a lot of scholarship. I challenge them over there. And every other member on this team here are fully qualified. Fully qualified. In whichever field we are, hold up the man. Hold up. We are fully qualified. I want you to list to this country, show to this nation the qualifications of your honorable leader. And if you can't present it, UG free. Kwame not the leader of the opposition, but Kwame can present at any time, Mr. Speaker. But you know what? Whatever is his qualification, he do not misinform the people of this nation. He does not misrepresent who he is. And that is the key to all of this. Mr. Speaker, I hear a lot of things being talked about Gaisuku. So watch my time. I heard a lot of things being talked about Gaisuku. Mr. Speaker, the sugar workers of this nation. Many of us don't know the contributions that the sugar workers made to this nation. I want to remind some of you who tend to forget. Mr. Speaker, in this budget, $13.4 billion is allocated to Gaisuku. Yeah, Mr. Speaker. So $13.4 billion allocated to Gaisuku. And hear what? Gaisuku, they are sugarcane worker, they are bloodsuckers, sugarcane workers. Gaisuku is a dark hole, black hole, all sorts of things we say. Mr. Speaker, the sugar workers for centuries, even before this nation was independent, they retaliated, they fought, they struggled for this nation. They fought against the plantocracy. All our foreparents toiled for this nation, including everybody foreparents. And sir, it is respect, honor, and dignity, all that we are asking for them to live with. Sir, hold on, I gotta tell you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when in 1974, because some of you there like to speak on history, the sugar levy was imposed on the sugar industry. And at that time, the PNC-led administration scooped $475 million away from that industry to build this nation. We didn't have a problem then. We didn't have a problem then. And sir, I tell you again, in 1979, our national budget was $627,707,000. And the foreign currency alone, earnings of Gaisuku was $226 million, sir. Mr. Speaker, in 1991, the figure continues, sir. And here again, and listen well, because you need to know, all of you, in 1977, sir, our national budget was $424,917. The sugar levy, sir, was 77 million. Listen, you don't know nothing, listen. It's $777,500,000, sir. 18.2% of the budget of that year was funded by the sugar levy, the sugar workers. It never went back to build the estates, build Gaisuku. It went to build this nation, sir. Went to build this nation. Again, sir, listen. You listen. In 1979, learn today. 1979, 600. This is Gaisuku report and Parliament reports, so fight with them. 627 million. 700. We'll come to scale and where you got pressure. 707,115, sir. The sugar levy of that year was 15.5%, placed from that for the national budget. And it goes on, sir. In 1989, it was 14.6%, sir. Again, hold on. Again, sir, in 1991, 4,264,000,000. Sir, 25.5% of the budget was from the sugar industry, the sugar levy alone. And forget, sir, hold on, Miguel here, we don't yet. Mr. Speaker, today, sir, Mr. Speaker, the total, there's something in finance called, Mr. Speaker, future value, time value for money. You want to hear the time value for money? How much money the sugar industry contributed from the sugar levy alone to this country, sir? To this country, sir, is over 310 billion Guyanese dollars, sir. And today, sir, from the 1.558 trillion, 13.4 billion, which is 0.85 of the budget, sir, less than 1%, you holla. I'm on the floor, I'm on the floor, right? But yes, sir. And so, Mr. Speaker, that alone says the story. And today, the allocation of less than 1% of the budget, sir, is going to Gaisuku, and you hear all these noises. But when the sugar workers toil to build this nation, Many of you don't know that. Sir, Mr. Speaker, again, the honorable gentleman might remember the first industry to bring potable water to this nation is Gaisuku. In the 1950s, there were over 12,000 homes. It was historic and groundbreaking in this nation here, where almost 12,000 persons, homes were given water, free water. Mr. Speaker, the recreational facilities, the pensioners, everything, drainage and irrigation, recreational facilities, health centers, everything, sir. And the largest contributor to the national insurance scheme is Gaisuku. And to date even, I'm not, Mr. Speaker, for not for a moment saying, sir, that the estates and industry should not be viable. But I want to tell you something. Hold up. You had preferential markets for over 50 years. The preferential market existed for over 50 years. So what are you saying? Sir, Mr. Speaker, today, sir, the agriculture industry, sir, is seeing that kind of progress and development, sir, because we are not considering this industry to be private business. Mr. Speaker, rice is another industry, sir, that carry this nation, sir. And you know, sir, today we have the highest production in the rice industry. Only all they're talking about people. The Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa led the rice subsector to have the largest production in the history of this industry, 810,299 metric tons. And it don't happen by magic. You can sit there and be Facebook warriors and social media politicians. But progress and prosperity does not happen like that, sir. It happens through strategic planning and executing and hard work. Mr. Speaker, the first crop of 2026 alone, we have 223,035 acres right now sown. It's there, sir. And Mr. Speaker, our target is 1 million metric ton by 2030, sir. Our export, sir, is 468,730 metric tons of rice. Our foreign exchange earning alone for 2025 is $237 million US. And all of you speak about rice farmers. We have worked with the farmers. When you here consider rice to be private business, you went to the rice farmers. You told them that you will do so, And you know what you did? But you know what, sir? You know what, sir? When people are in the ICU, you pray for them. You pray that they be well, because that is part of what all of us do. And so, sir, I will not waste any of my time longer to speak on that which is in the ICU. Because you know what, sir? The people, we by 2030, the sugar workers will stay on their jobs right there in Gaisuku. And sir, Mr. Speaker, the rice farmers, when people campaign, they know themselves. They made a lot of promises to the people. And when it's time, they turned their backs and they said it's private business. But sir, in this country here, this is a democratic country. And the fact that it is democratic, you can sit there as 16 members, honorable members. And your numbers there, your numerical strength on that side of the house is demonstrative that democracy is alive. And the people will continue. Don't think the people out there, they don't know what is going on, sir. You can make all the false allegations you want, but the people on the ground, they know for years who stand by them, who continue to stand by them, and who is there for them. The people know that, sir. You can do what you want, but the people, the Guyanese people are smarter. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we are continuously working for the people, because we want to make the people smarter. We want to make sure that the people understand everybody. And the Honorable Minister and this government is investing tremendously in the education sector. That is why we're returning the cash grant. That is why we are placing it now to 85, and it will incrementally go based on our manifesto. We are guided by that, and not for a moment will we ever move from that. And sir, in the rice sector alone for 2025, we have given in cash money, fertilizers, subsidies, incentives of the tune of $5,380 million, Mr. Speaker. That is to put money in the people's pocket, and the rice farmers know that. Tomorrow, join me in Region 3, because we have something that is called the crop insurance. Free! Putting the people first. Because that crop insurance, the crop insurance, Mr. Speaker, is that which, you know, in 2021, when there was this flooding, $2 billion were given to the rice farmers as subsidies. And this government understands the risk that our farmers take when they go to the fields to plant crops to feed this nation. And your government, Mr. Speaker, the government of Guyana, led by the People's Progressive Party Civic, collaborated GRDB, the Costa Rica company, and the Maurice Phillips International Company, sir, joined together and created this insurance product to remove the level of uncertainty because of inclement weather condition, sir, and that there, in case of any losses, will compensate the farmers for whatever losses they will face. Sir, this is not gap. Tomorrow, Dr. Barker, you join me, and you will see for real, as a member of Region 3, not tomorrow, sorry, Saturday. And you will see the real things that are happening, how it changes and transforms the lives of our ordinary people. This is no quack show. This is real people. This is not cardboard people. This is real human beings'
Honorable
lives.
Minister,
We are transformed.
you will have 5 minutes more to conclude.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again in the rice sector, sir, we again, sir, have done. Yes, sir. So the nano fertilizer, again, it's a groundbreaking experience because in rice cultivation, it is a reduced input cost, increased yields, and soil health that is important. Right? And Mr. Speaker, Terry, the Energy and Resource Institute of India, partnered, sir, with GRDB at a rice resort station. And Mr. Speaker, after that, our agronomists have reported that with a nano urea fertilizer, we have increased yields and strong environmental effects for the usage of this liquid nano urea fertilizer. So instead of, sir, spending now $7,000 on a bag of fertilizer for an acre of land, we can now achieve that with $2,500. That, Mr. Speaker, speaks to innovation, speaks to the needs of our people. And that is what, sir, this People's Progressive Party is about, because this will reduce cost. And reduction in cost means more money in the farmer's pocket. Increased yields means more money in the farmer's pocket. But, Mr. Speaker, we are also not denying that there are issues in the sector. We do not shy away from that. We accept it because, as you know, in this 2025 last year, we exported 42,000 more than 2024 and earned 17 million less. It means, sir, in the international market, the price is down because of an excessive supply. And so we have, sir, a responsibility to continuously work with the farmer. And, sir, you will notice that we continuously work with the farmers to ensure that the cost of production is down. There's more market in Mexico and Europe so that our farmers can be more profitable. Mr. Speaker, one last point I would like to make in the other crop sectors. NARI, Terry again in collaboration with NARI. A couple months ago, I think it's in October, we commissioned a brand new tissue culture lab. And Mr. Speaker, where plants we were able to have 13,000 plantlets being done. Now 1 million plantlets can go, Mr. Speaker, to the nursery and then to the farmers, disease-free, and which will also help to increase the output of the farmers. We have constructed 757 shade houses across this country from 2021 to 2025. And make no bones about it, we want to make this sector sustainable. We want to make this sector resilient, climate resilient, and more importantly, reach to ensure that our nation is a food secure nation. There's so many things we can talk. But Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the people of this country for once again electing Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali as our president of this nation. And sir, we have served this nation. You want to hear Hindi what? Sir, am I permitted? Mr. Speaker, we in the People's Progressive Party, Civic, has served this nation for almost 76 years, and we never get migraine headache. Every day we go out. But hear what? Technology is also, where's Dr. Frank? Mr. Speaker, for all those people who have migraine headache, Cetamol migraine is available over the counter. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And now for the Honorable Member, Mr. Dwarte Hsburgger.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members from both sides of the House, good afternoon. It's indeed a pleasure to be here in this honorable House as a representative of the people of this country. I can't help it but certain things. I'm trying not to be disrespectful to my elders and the disabled, but for you, my sir, I will humbly put aside my principles. Anyhow, Mr. Speaker, this afternoon I would like to congratulate all the members who were elected to be in this August House especially to those who are new to this house, including myself and those new ministerial members. Further, Mr. Speaker, I would like to extend an heartfelt gratitude to the 109 persons, 109,000 individuals who decided that they wanted something new and put their trust behind this movement, the We Invest in Nationhood movement. And mind you, Mr. Speaker, you would hear me saying movement. This is a movement because we have a purpose, not a party that usually makes noise, hot air. And I understand the reason for the on and off of the AC is the hot air that rises at a certain end. Mr. Speaker, allow me to make my contribution, but before I go, for the past few days, we heard about this whopping majority and the endorsement by the people of Ghana. That is good. Kudos. You have a whopping majority, a 36-seat majority, and you should be sitting and doing the gods. But however, every day, this 16 bothers you. Forgive you, my colleagues on this side. We are on the same side, but forgive me. Every day, the 16 is a turn in your side. It tells me about your insecurity. What it also tells me, Mr. Speaker, what it also tells me is that if in 3 months, Mr. Speaker, 3 months, we garnered 16 seats, it shudder to think. It shudder to think what will happen in 5 years. And that is what gives them sleepless nights. And they would want to talk, it's politics. This is not politics, Mr. Speaker. Insecurity. That's insecurity there. A face of double standard. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to make my contributions to this debate. My first presentation is to be a part of this budget debate. Mr. Speaker, this budget is presented under the theme, putting people first. Everybody is saying this thing, but like it's borrowed. So I wouldn't repeat that, right? I wouldn't repeat that because it's already in the record, right? And more so, outside of it being borrowed, Mr. Speaker, it falls short of relieving the many burdens faced by the ordinary Guyanese, although it being a whopping $1.558 trillion. Mr. Speaker, my contribution today is not to test that amount with rhetoric. It's not to test it with rhetoric. It's to test it with the supreme law of this land, the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, the budget documents, and the realities of the people on the ground that face daily. Mr. Speaker, I intend to highlight the deficiencies in the budget, particularly, Mr. Speaker, as it relates to local government and regional development. This is not an opposition for the sake of opposing. It is a necessary exercise in constitutional responsibility and accountability. Where the Constitution establishes government as a cornerstone for democratic governance, it is the duty of this House to ensure that our budgets strengthen and do not quietly undermine that constitutional intent. Mr. Speaker, no matter how much we spend, no matter how large the figures may appear, if the Constitution is not honored in practice, local government will remain weakened, marginalized, and disrespected. Meaningful development, Mr. Speaker, does not flow from expenditure alone. It flows from system of respect for the law, empower elected representatives, and involve people not as subject to administration, but as partners of governance. Mr. Speaker, let me be unequivocal. Money cannot cure constitutional disrespect. The time has come. Money cannot cure constitutional disrespect. Mr. Speaker, local government in Guyana, it is not an extension of Chief Paul Drive or the corridors of Robb Street. All right? It's a constitutional pillar in our democracy. Article 12, if you listen, you will get the point. Article 12 of our Constitution is abundantly clear, Mr. Speaker, and I want to quote verbatim so that my colleagues on the other side do not go misinformed or in any form, right, outside of that. Local government, by freely elected representatives of the people, is an integral part of the democratic organization of the state. They are to play an important part in the development of the state. Right? Mr. Speaker, I noticed my friend, the Honorable James Bond, is not interfering in this. He's not contributing to this. Because we were once at Fish Up and they blamed us for colluding. But I understand that he repented. So I could understand why he's not saying anything. Right? With Article 12, Mr. Speaker, it goes further. When we look at Chapter 7, Articles 71 to 78B, it gives us the establishment of these LDOs, right? As institution of God, vested with the authority, guess where, Mr. Speaker? Through the ballot box. Through the ballot box. They are vested with that authority, Mr. Speaker. Not to be overridden by administrative convenience, and by extension the executive. They are constitutionally invested in implementing policy programs that determine by the duly elected authority with administrative authority across all areas, with the exception of two, Mr. Speaker. With the exception of two. And that is foreign relations and defense. It stays with the executive. The framers of our Constitution understood that when we're talking about development, if you listen, you guys, everything's flying over your head. When you listen, you learn. Mr. Speaker, when we're talking about development, our framers intended for the people to be a part of the process, because they understood that with a rich nation like this, it cannot be done from the center. The people have to be involved. But they also saw that on a macro scale, defense and foreign relations has to be dealt with from a macro scale. Right? Thank you. I know I look young. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right? Mr. Speaker, I want to compound this point by saying on the 1st of September, Mr. Speaker, I want my honorable members to understand that there wasn't only one elections. There was 11 elections, Mr. Speaker. One of those elections, our electors cast 2 ballots. One to elect the honorable members of this house, and also to elect the party that will be at the governance, the executive arm of government. They go over the head. Everything is go over the head. When they lost it with the truly, they lost it. Right? Right? Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that was one part of the election. The other 10 elections were for the regional democratic councils, Mr. This wasn't a symbolic act. It wasn't a symbolic act, Mr. Speaker. It was a constitutional act conferring authority, legitimacy, and responsibility both at the national and regional levels, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the past 3 days, all you're hearing from that side of the house is about democracy, democracy, democracy. Yet, Mr. Speaker, one cannot profess commitment to democracy while degrading the very mandate that democracy produces. It is now 5 months, Mr. Speaker, 5 months since those elections were held, and yet, Mr. Speaker, Upper Demerara Berbice Region 10, Regional Democratic Council, has yet not convened its statutory meeting, has not reconvened its statutory meeting to conclude its elections. You put honorable to that name, Mr. Bond. Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. They haven't reconvened that statutory meeting to conclude the election for its chairperson and vice chairperson, Mr. Speaker. And a budget is before this honorable house, Mr. Speaker, prepared. Expenditure has been outlined. The programs are moving forward. Yet the duly elected council, the body constitutionally mandated to guide, scrutinize, and implement regional development, has been excluded from the process. Mr. Speaker, this is not a technical delay. It is not an administrative oversight. It is a constitutional failure, utter failure. When we elected council to prevent it from organizing itself as required by law, executive convenience, executive convenience, Mr. Speaker, is placed above democratic obligations, Mr. Speaker. And when that occurs, no amount of expenditure, Mr. Speaker, no amount of money can compensate for the erosion of legitimacy. This is why, Mr. Speaker, that this budget must be judged not only by how much it allocates, but by how it respects the authority of those elected to govern. Mr. Speaker, when we examine this budget, a budget that claims to put the people first, what we see is not the strengthening of local democracy, but a route either deliberate or through ignorance that would lead to its steady erosion. Mr. Speaker, instead of empowering elected councils, the approach reflected here continues to favor centralized administration. The dictatorial approach is familiar. New mechanisms are introduced. Additional advisory layers are inserted. Administrative interventions are expanded. And all too often, These structures operate alongside, above, or around those elected councils. By passing them, Mr. Speaker, in practice, while leaving them accountable in name. That's a travesty, Mr. Speaker. Constitutional provisions are being honored in breach, and you're calling it democracy. Mr. Speaker, these measures are presented to us as tools of efficiency, but actually, Mr. Speaker, they are tools of central control. They are merely tools of central control, where opposing views are not supported or tolerated, Mr. Speaker. Sir, let me say this plainly. Governance is not administration, and administration will never be governance. Administration implements, governance decides. It is the same way that a PS does not determine policies. Similarly, a REO, a town clerk, or is it only the overseers, or in this case, the REO Region 10? Huh? Mr. Speaker, when ministries engage directly and primarily with appointed officials rather than elected representatives, when councils are reduced to delivery agents for decision made elsewhere, when authority flow upwards while responsibility flow downwards, the Constitution is not honored, it is being dishonored. Mr. Speaker, if anyone doubts that this is a constitutional issue and not a financial one, they need to look what is currently happening in Region 10. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, local democratic organs were created to give citizens ownership of their communities, ownership to determine their priorities, ownership to determine their developmental needs, ownership to determine their outcomes. When that authority is diluted or ignored, citizen participation weakens, accountability becomes blur, public trust erodes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, democracy does not mean managing from the center. It must be practiced at the community level. This is what the Constitution prescribed. This is not what I am saying. This is what the Constitution prescribed. Mr. Speaker, no amount of administrative restructuring can substitute for elected authority. None. No volume of spending can compensate for weakened local governance. None. And no budget can credibly claim to put people first while systemically sidelining the design to represent them. Mr. Speaker, allow me to emphasize that respect for the Constitution must translate into respect for the people. The Constitution is not an abstract document to be cited when convenient or believed to only be exercised every 5 years. It is a living instrument designed to protect participation, dignity, and voice. Citizens' engagement in local government is not meant to be managed from afar, but to be heard at close range, not to observe governance as passive spectators, but to actively influence the decisions that shape their communities, their livelihoods, and their daily lives. That is what the Constitution intended to be. Mr. Speaker, when constitutional principles are honored in form but ignored in practice, something dangerous occurs. Citizen suffering leads to badly managed communities, drains, sanitation, and simple thing as a playground. Mr. Speaker, when decisions affecting our major markets, such as Board and Stabrook, decisions affecting our sanitation and waste management, decisions affecting our surrounding community infrastructure, decisions affecting our social order are taken far removed from the communities they impact, the consequences are immediate and damaging. Local realities are misunderstood. Community priorities are misaligned, and solutions are imposed rather than developed through consultation. In such circumstances, Mr. Speaker, citizens are reduced from partners in governance to spectators of the administration process. If you listen, you're going to understand. Expected to comply with decision they had no role in shaping. They had no role in shaping, but they must comply. And to absorb all the consequences, policies that do not affect their lived experiences. Mr. Speaker, this is a quiet erosion of democracy. Some may say this is violent. Sir, it is not done with declarations, but with displacement. Not through confrontation, but through control. Not by removing elections, but by emptying it of influence. And if you want to ask me, Mr. Speaker, what it means by emptying of influence, take a look at the voter turnout at local government elections. They are abysmal. The last one was 38%. 38%. That tells you the people have no trust in the system, because no matter who they elect to represent them, central government always manage. Mr. Speaker, democracy cannot be supervised into existence. Democracy cannot be supervised into existence, Mr. Speaker. It must be trusted, it must be practiced, and it must be respected, beginning with respect for the Constitution and ending with the respect for the people. They're the only bright ones here, colleagues. Right? They're the only bright ones. They're born with experience. Yeah? Unfortunately for us, we have to learn. We have to learn. They are born with it. They are blessed. Yeah, because I'm listening. Right? When you finish, you're going to shake my hand, Mr. Mr. Speaker, allow me now to address a region that is important not only to me, but to our party or movement at large. I would like to turn to Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo, Region 9. The largest administrative region in this country, Mr. Speaker. Known widely as Rupununi, a region of vast distance, rich in indigenous heritage, immense agricultural potential, Mr. Speaker, and significant opportunity for tourism and cross-border trade. Rupununi, Mr. Speaker, is home to more than 55 villages that covers approximately 57,700 square kilometers. This reality alone, Mr. Speaker, speaks not only to the geographical scale of the region, but the depth of responsibility borne by the state in delivering services, infrastructure, and governance across that vast distance. Mr. Speaker, this is not a sparsely inhabited space that can be managed by approximation and occasional intervention. Rather, it is living, an organized region of communities with distinct needs, priorities, and expectations. development in the Rupununi, likewise in all other regions, Mr. Speaker, cannot be episodic or occasional intervention, often channeled through the lens of a camera for the purpose of social media platform. Mr. Speaker, it must be deliberate, it must be sustained, and most importantly, it must be respectful of the people that live there. Mr. Speaker, education in the region like Rupununi is not merely a social service. It is primarily an instrument of opportunity, mobility, and long-term development. In a vast hinterland region where distance, geography, limited access already place young people at a disadvantage, education becomes a single most important equalizer between the coastland and the interior, Mr. Speaker. For Region 9, Mr. Speaker, education is not an optional infrastructure. It is an essential national investment. Rupununi, Mr. Speaker, serves, as I said, more than 55 villages. Each of those communities, Mr. Speaker, depends on a small number of secondary institutions to educate their children. When those institutions, Mr. Speaker, are overburdened or delayed, the impact is felt across the entire region, Mr. Speaker, not in theory, but in classrooms, dormitories, and the learning outcomes. Mr. Speaker, take, for example, the St. Ignatius Secondary School, which continues to experience severe overcrowding, absorbing students from Letem, Tabaching, and bordering communities. This school has effectively become a regional pressure point, accommodating far more students than it was originally designed to. Mr. Speaker, there was a glimmer of hope with the emergence of the Tabachinga Secondary School that was intended to relieve some of the pressure of the St. Ignatius Secondary School, right? The intention was sound, Mr. Speaker. The execution, however, has fallen short tremendously. The fact is, Mr. Speaker, there was at the time little or no visibility at the construction site. Little or no visibility at the construction site. But I was informed only Monday that work has returned. Work has restarted, Mr. Speaker. I am in no way, Mr. Speaker, imputing that the construction was abandoned. I'm just saying that the ad hoc manner are not clearly taking into consideration what is happening on the ground. Now that project is behind timeline. And most definitely, I know why it is behind timeline and why it's ad hoc. It's because of the famous FFF policy.
Honorable Member, your 5 minutes will start now.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to address the public infrastructure in the Region 9. Mr. Speaker, road infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, is not about mobility. It is about access to services, economic survival, and public safety. Mr. Speaker, roads connect villages to school, schools to farms, farms to markets, patients to healthcare, and communities to opportunity. When road fails, Mr. Speaker, isolation follows. And that is a real human cost. Mr. Speaker, road infrastructure in Rupununi therefore requires more than speed and surface. It requires planning that respects geography, construction that respects engineering standards, and oversight that respects public funds. Mr. Speaker, I started this by saying local government is the key pillar to the development of our country if we are going to develop at the rate that we are going. And if the people are not involved, we will not get value for the money. Mr. Vic, give you for example, Mr. Speaker, in Baitoon, a culvert was built. Culvert supposed to build where the water accumulates. The people tell them that is where the culvert is to build, at the bottom of the slope. But the engineer, our brilliant engineers, Mr. Speaker, built it on a slope. Built it on a slope. They're listening to the people on the ground, I guess because we are indigenous and they're engineers. But in this case, they're engine fire. Mr. Speaker, due to time, because they are on that side of the house, everything just flies over their heads. Mr. Speaker, since 2021, national spending has increased by approximately 300%. This represents one of the most dramatic expansion of public expenditure in our history. With an increase of that magnitude, citizens are entitled to reasonably and legitimately, Mr. Speaker, expect corresponding improvement in their quality of life. That expectation is not excessive, Mr. Speaker, it's logical. Local democratic organs, Mr. Speaker, remain financially constrained and operationally dependent, Mr. Speaker. Regions such as Region 9 continue to wait for delivery that matches promise. Communities that continue to experience widening gap between expenditure and outcome, between what is announced and what is actually felt, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, no amount of increased spending can compensate for weakened democratic institutions. None. No level of capital investment can replace trust, legitimacy, and respect for the authority conferred by the ballot boxes. A budget, Mr. Speaker, that expands by 300%, yet coincides with growing strain on local democratic leadership, cannot credibly claim to be putting people first. Budget reveals priorities, and priorities reveal intent. Numbers don't lie. Consequences speak even louder. Mr. Speaker, a budget that grows at that pace, yet leaves democratic organs constrained, services uneven, an entire region still waiting for delivery, reflects a failure of respect, a failure of respect for the Constitution, failure of respect for the people, and a failure of respect for the services the state is duty bound to provide. Mr. Speaker, development is not measured by how much we spend. It is measured by how well our people live. And in this case, only a few are living well. The stats show that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, until our increased expenditure produces stronger local government, dignified and reliable services, real felt outcomes for all regions, the promise of putting people first remains what it is, merely a slogan. Mr. Speaker, the people of Guyana did not ask for expansion alone. They asked for results, they asked for respect, and they deserve nothing less. Money cannot cure, Mr. Speaker, money cannot cure constitutional disrespect. Money cannot cure constitutional disrespect. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Mr. Dwarte Hsburgger. And now for the Honorable Minister of Local Government and Regional Development.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon to you and to everyone else here. Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by congratulating the Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh
the senior minister in the office of the president with responsibility for finance, who I have to say is coveted around the world, and who, when we went into opposition, whose services were sought, nobody on the other side could claim that kind of credit. Nobody on the other side. I want to thank our female director of budget, Ms. Sonia Roopnath. Many countries crave a female director of budget. And I want to especially mention Mr. Bernard Lord, whom I know I bothered for too many minutes on days that he should not have been working and at hours he should not have been answering. But I wanted to get it right for the Ministry of Local Government and every other staff in every other ministry, particularly in the Ministry of Local Government, who put this budget together so that we could take Guyana forward by putting people first. Mr. Speaker, I listened to the honorable member just now, and it was an amazing lecture in democracy. And I met this honorable member before. I met him on the 4th of March 2020, and I have a soft spot. I'm an Army wife, soft spot for some Army people. And I actually believe his plea when he said we were making a mountain out of a molehill. I didn't realize that we were in the midst of an election rig that the honorable member was very familiar with. And I thought he would be shadowing, not local government. He has great expertise in computers, wiping them and flash drives and assisting people to do that. And the honorable member...
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister, we have the Honorable Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I'm standing up on 4116. First, the Honorable Minister directed her words to a particular member. She was very clear who she was speaking to, and she was imputing improper motive to that member, Mr. Speaker.
As I was saying, sir.
Honorable Chief Whip, she says he has great expertise. My son has that too. Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Thank you, sir. So to hear from the honorable member his newfound interest in democracy was both interesting and enlightening, and I hope it came from his heart. Mr. Speaker, we keep hearing in this House about oil money and oil being giving us the ability to do what we're doing right now. And the only reason we can do what we're doing for the people of Guyana is because we have oil. And I want to put that into perspective, Mr. Speaker. If we want to build Guyana, if we want to make people's lives better, if we want to put people first, we have to begin with political will. We have to begin with a love for people, and we have to be willing to work hard. When the People's Progressive Party, Civic, came to office in 1992, this was a heavily indebted poor country, HIPIC. One of three at the bottom of the ladder. In 1992, sir, without oil, as a heavily indebted poor country, Dr. Jagan and the People's Progressive Party took a decision that they were going to give every single old age person their pensions, when before you had to be a card-carrying member of the PNC to get it. We didn't have oil. We had the will, and we loved old people. In 2006, Mr. Speaker, we didn't have oil. When we started the uniform voucher, it started at the Ministry of Human Services. And that was because the then President Barjack Deo, champion of the earth, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, crafter of a budget for the people, and a man who stands in and out of government for the people of this country, was walking around doing what the PPP does best, getting feedback from people. How is it we can serve you better? People said, you know, you're building all these schools, you're doing all these things, but we're finding it a little hard to put our children in uniforms and give them lunch kits. And he said, we're going to introduce the uniform voucher program. 2006, we did not have oil. What we had was a love for children. We had respect for Article 13, which speaks to us consulting with people and hearing what their needs are, and we introduced it. And when we could in 2014, we made that a universal program for every single child in this country. Will, political will, love for people, and the desire to see your country grow. That is what the PPPC brings. What is the alternative? As soon as the AP and UAFC got into office, a program that was introduced by the PPPC to give children $10,000 was collapsed. You said you couldn't afford it. At the time, it was costing this country $1.6 billion to give each child $10,000. You took that away, snatched it from the hands of parents who needed it. But you know what increased? Dietary in the budget. Went up by $1.6 billion. You eat out the people money. You eat out the children money. And you coming here now to tell us about love for children? So my dear friend, the newcomer, Mr. Saiku Andrews, clearly you and your honorable member, Coretta McDonald, I'm sorry she took a tumble today. Clearly you didn't speak. She is saying it's not enough. You're saying you want to squash it and bring back the 5Bs program. Which is it? What I can interpret, and the honorable member is speaking for the AP and UPNC and whatever other configuration they have there. What he says is that the 5B program was superior. So what I want the parents of this country to know is that if the PNC ever got their hands on power again, they are taking away your Because We Care cash grant. They're taking it away. And they're going to replace it with dilapidated buses, no breakfast, no books, or anything else that they fail to give. Mr. Speaker, so, sir, this political party, the People's Progressive Party, stop the cackling, man. Stop the cackling. The People's Progressive Party has consistently shown, in or out of government, with or without oil, that it is the only party that will look after children, that will look after women, that will look after our Amerindian brothers and sisters, that will look after our farmers, that will look after our businessmen, that will look after our service people, that will look out for teachers, that will build schools and roads and hospitals. It is the People's Progressive Party Civic that has consistently shown that kind of pro-poor, pro-development approach to governance in the country. And so, Mr. Speaker, we come to a point where we ask, what is it? What is it, sir, that people want? What is it people want? People in this country have said to us what they want. They want, Mr. Speaker, the people of Guyana had a great opportunity on the 1st of September to speak through their vote. They got a chance to say, study the various plans and manifestos and promises and records, because records matter. Because records matter. They breed trust or mistrust. And on the 1st of September, the people of Guyana spoke resoundingly. And they said they want the People's Progressive Party Civic to govern this country for the next 5 years in partnership with them. But equally and conversely, they said who they did not want. They said who they did not want. They decimated the AP and UAFC. They put the PNC in a little corner there. Oh, how I miss the days of Winston Murray and Robert Corbyn and Deborah Baca. This has become a shell of a great party where it appears that you could pay to play. You could now pay to play. And that's not to say all of its members are without value. They have one of the country's best history teachers in its seats. And I hope, sir, I hope that you don't get contaminated by this bunch. The shadow of a shadow. And they spoke to the WIN. And they said to them, we don't want you in government, because they may well have looked at you, and what they saw was a collection of hurt people. A collection of hurt people. No ideology attending to this collection. No, what is your ideology? Oh man, stop. Stop. What is the ideology guiding these people? One was indicted, running from the charges, decided he's going to drag some people with him. 3 at the front were never going to get seats under the Aubrey Norton leadership of the PNC. They disaffected over here. One couldn't get back his job at Gaisuko because he failed. Ran away over there. One treated very poorly by a technician. Good girl. Dedicated servant, whose father served the People's Progressive Party. It should never have happened to her. She's there now. But had disaffected somebody else who was hurt. My brother, Dr. Ryan. Hurt. But couldn't come. But couldn't find himself, still couldn't find himself with you, the PNC. That should be your concern. So he looked for another home. But I know that as soon as this disintegrates, which is just months off, you coming back home, and we will welcome you back home, sir. We will welcome you back home. But this is a collection of persons who are disaffected, without direction, without leadership, owned by a person who is soon going to be departing your shores. Soon going to be departing your shores. So, Mr. Speaker, we come to the place where we have to ask, what is it people want from the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development? What do our citizens expect of us? Citizens, I don't think you know anything. That's part of your problem. That's part of your problem. You ain't know nothing. You just floating. 5 parties in 5 years. Something is wrong with that, Missy. Mr. Speaker, we know our citizens want a wholesome, clean, safe community to live in. Our citizens want homes that they can call their own, homes that give them assets, roads that they can walk down safely on because they're street lights, playgrounds, health centers that work, schools that deliver solid education. That's what our citizens want. And we're hearing them, and we're listening to them. And so how is this ministry now going to position itself in this new Guyana we're building out, this new progressive Guyana? The local government ministry, sir, is a ministry that cuts across every sector, in every community, from regions 1 to 10, from the coastland to the hinterland, in the markets, in the schools, in the health centers, and in Sharma Solomon's home. Sir, local government has to look at itself now in a different light. When the legislation was passed to create the local government ministry and to create local governance, there was an intention clearly by the lawmakers that we would decentralize services. That means everything wouldn't be based in Georgetown, and that we would have a devolution of power. Whether I think it's a good time for the country to examine whether we've done that. I think it's a good time for the country. It's not you have not. The country has not. Your party was in government and you did the same thing. You changed the ministry. It is a good time. The honorable member, this conversation would be above her, sir. It is a good time for the country to try to determine where we should be now. Have we achieved that? And if we have not, what must we do? What must we do, not only in administration, but to change out habits? Change out habits to be able to give effect to the legislation that sought to decentralize and evolve. And so, in that sense, sir, we have 70 neighborhood democratic councils, we have 10 municipalities, and we have 10 regional democratic councils. And we must find a space where we can make sure all of these local government bodies are working. That is the mission. The mission is to now build capacity. We have good people there. We have good people in these places. We have elected people in these places, and that's what matters. So how do we make sure every single local government organ works? We're going to have to start with building capacity. We're going to have to start with training massively, not only the people who are serving, but the people who are to be served. And how it is that we're going to make sure these bodies know what they have to do and have the resources to do that. And so, sir, this budget this year is catering to give each neighborhood democratic council $30 million and each municipality $50 million. The NDCs will get a total of $2.1 billion and the municipalities $500 million. And this is where we expect some level of autonomy, where these local government bodies, through consultation with their communities, are going to determine what might be best for their neighborhoods, to be able to develop, to be able to evolve. We have, in addressing that, Mr. Speaker, we have to address what building they're in, what kind of facility they're in. And on that score, Mr. Speaker, we are building 8 new NDC buildings and rehabilitating 5 NDC buildings at a total of $480 million. And what we have done, sir, so that we can avoid the drawing and redrawing is we have determined what it is we want in each NDC. We know we need a help desk. We know we need a cashier. We know we need a single window. We know we need a place for the clerk. We know we need a place for the rate collection person. And so we're drawing a prototype, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Because what I found, Mr. Speaker, in visiting the local democratic organs, the NDCs, were that there were Mr. Speaker, the old adage of empty barrels make the most noise. You all sound like you're rolling down the road. Clatang, clatang, clatang. So we are moving forward, Mr. Speaker, so that we could have 70 buildings that can accommodate the kind of service we want to deliver. 70 municipalities this year, sir. We're spending $150 million on building the Rose Hall Municipality, Madja Town Council, New Amsterdam Town Council. You can find nothing good with building back these town councils, Mr. Speaker. So this would be the beginning of relooking at all the great work done by the various ministers that came before me, the various governments that came before me. We have to look at whether we are where we want to be, and if we aren't, how do we get to the next place? That is the examination we should all be engaged in. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of people wanting clean communities, predictable garbage collection, our waste management is going to see new and improved efforts. To this end, we are building, Mr. Speaker, 8 new landfill sites. In Region 2, we are building at Zorgenvliet. In Region 3, we are building one at Laurentia Catarina. In Region 4, we're building at Luziknan. In Region 5, we're building at Blairmont. In Region 6, we're building at Manarabisi. In Region 7 at 10 Miles. Region 9 at Bon Success. Region 10 at Mabura. These landfill sites are going to be modern. You know, I can't hear you, so you're wasting your breath and talking stupidness. These landfill sites, sir, are going to be modern landfill sites that look at a circular way of disposing of solid waste. We were looking at linear ways in the past, where we look at usage and disposal. We're now looking at usage, disposal, reusing. That would mean, Mr. Speaker, that would mean that we have to now introduce things like recycling, not only to the landfill site, but to our children, to our populations, to our homes. We're going to have to dispose of our garbage differently. Plastic in one place, paper in one place, mahi-pal in another place. We're going to have to look to dispose of our garbage differently, Mr. Speaker. And we're going to have to teach that. In that regard, Mr. Speaker, we're also buying, and I just wanted to address, because I remember the Honorable Mahi-Paul raised the Hsburgger issue. And I would say this: you have an issue, raise it with us. We are your servants too. We are the servants of the people of this country, and we are your servants too. If you have a problem, raise it. We will fix it. But that's the difference with us and you. We can fix it. You cannot. Mr. Speaker, at Hsburgger, we were getting a distinct communities like Eccles, Windsor Estates, Providence, Prospect were complaining of a distinct foul scent. Those communities will tell you now that they don't get that scent because we spent a large amount of time covering the garbage. What the honorable member is now smelling is the highway, and that is because it is a design issue. The landfill site is 200 feet away from the highway, and what you're smelling is fresh garbage, but it is not reaching residents. The experts in the ministry, the public servants you say you love, are currently examining a solution for it. But what we can guarantee you is that you may get a solution from us, you would not get a solution from you. Because we didn't get one from you for the 5 years that you were in office. Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, every single NDC, every single municipality is going to get a garbage truck. The compactor truck that you know picks up garbage. That will be a first for this country. Every single NDC, every single municipality is going to get a garbage compactor truck. At least one. At least one. But some will get 2. I never fail, baby. Honorable baby.
This is her 20th budget speech, Honorable.
Additionally, sir, we are buying bins, we are buying shredders, we are buying compactors from marketplaces. So there is an effort, Mr. Speaker. There is an effort, and very soon you will see some young people, some of them in the house today, who are going to start an NGO that will take across the country into schools the effort to change out how we deal with solid waste in this country. So it's not a one moment fix. It's not buying a truck. It is changing out attitudes. And that's what we're going to have to do in the schools, in the homes, in the communities. And Mr. Speaker, all the landfill sites will also have significant lights. To those landfill sites, we're also building roads. The construction of roads that will cost about $1.2 billion. So, Mr. Speaker, you could tell that the intention and the desire and the funding is there for us to treat solid waste differently in this country. And I call on all of you in this house, to join me on this campaign. We cannot do it alone. We will do it alone if we have to. But it would be good if you were to join this wholesome, healthy campaign to change out how Guyana deals with its solid waste. We are willing to work with you. We are willing to work with you. Well, not the one who is sanctioned. We're willing to work with the rest of you to make sure we can get this up and running. But if you don't want to work with us, it will happen without you, and the nation will know it happened without you. We also recognize, sir, that there are markets all across Guyana. We have about 34 markets, and those markets are a hub of culture. They're a hub of economic activity. They're a hub of socializing. They're a part of us, an integral, inherent part of us. This year, Mr. Speaker, $4.9 billion will be spent on either rehabilitating, rebuilding, or constructing new markets. $2 billion will be dedicated towards beginning the reconstruction or the restoration of the Stabroek market and the Border Green market. The other markets that will be done, Mr. Speaker, are East Rumveld, trust me, test me. The other markets that will be done, Mr. Speaker, are East Rumveld, Alboystown, Rose Hall, number 79, New Amsterdam, Madja, Lethem, Mackenzie, Port Kaituma, Soddy, Lenora, Zeelat, Vredenhoop. Those are all new. Zeelat, Vredenhoop, Tushen, new markets. Port Drawing, new market. Monrepo, a vending area, the Diamond Hospital area, a place at the junction of Soesdijk, the Tamerim neighborhood market, Bath Market, Rosignol Market, Palmyra Cultural Market, Port Morant Market, Soesdijk, Better Hope vending area. And so, Mr. Speaker, we want our vendors to operate in a wholesome, organized space where they can earn for themselves and their families. And we want shoppers to have the experience that would be pleasant for them to shop in the market, that would be pleasant and allow for communities to build, because a lot of people meet in the market, talk in the market, and a lot of exchanges happen in the market. And so you're going to see, Mr. Speaker, a decided effort over the next 5 years to make sure our markets are all rehabilitated or reconstructed. We're also looking specifically at green spaces or public spaces where people can exercise, where children can play, where there can be a safe communion of persons in their various neighborhoods. I just walked East Rumveld. East Rumveld is on the list to be fixed. Where my learned friend is from, Keoma Griffith. I just walked North Rumveld, where we saw spaces. I now have a new bucket list item. I don't even know if it's legal, but it's to swim in the blackout. And Mr. Speaker, it's interesting. You go into those communities and you're walking on concreted roads and you're watching beautiful homes and you're watching people coming home from work and you're watching neighborhoods thrive. And we know that we can work with these neighborhoods to make sure they're better than they currently are. And so you're going to see from us in excess of 20 new recreational spaces. The Ministry of Housing is doing 14 more. And so across the country, Mr. Speaker, you are going to see. This fella is so pessimistic. Very pessimistic, big man. Mr. Speaker, we're beautifying public spaces also. The First Lady's office has done some amazing work on public spaces that allow all of us to enjoy it, including the honorable member. We see what the seawall looks like. We see what 63 Beach is going to look like. The diamond community now has a beautified space done by the First Lady. Mr. Speaker, the member must have missed when I said we're coming to do the Mackenzie Market. He missed that? Or he was bellowing too loudly? This narrative. So I want to address this narrative, what we are currently doing. So let me clarify that. Perhaps I wasn't articulate enough. We are asking NDCs. You're one of the pay-to-play people that dispensed of Annette Ferguson, a hard worker. We don't know you. The people don't know you. They know Annette Ferguson. What are you doing in her seat? No, I know about you. And it's not good things. Mr. Speaker, the narrative I heard from two honorable members of this house. And I think it's a sexy narrative. It probably sells in your community, but it's going to be dismantled. That nothing happens in Region 10. I heard that from the Honorable Sharma Solomon. I heard it from my honorable friend, Dr. Ryan, behind Mr. Harbour. I can't see his last name. I heard it. Region 10, Linden, he said they need trained teachers. Linden has 120% trained teachers. But I am acknowledging here that the riverine communities don't have trained teachers because the teachers do not want to go. Part of the reason is because they don't have housing. So we have to fix that. We have to get housing there so that the teachers can go in. But to say that Region 10 doesn't have trained teachers, do you need a vomit bag? Mr. Speaker, to say that we aren't interested in education, 4 new secondary schools are going up in Region 10, one at the cost of $2.6 billion.
Minister Cut.
One at the cost of 2.6, thank you, sir. One at the cost of $2.6 billion. One at Wairuni, one at Hururu. Mr. Speaker, I want to, because I have 5 minutes, Mr. Speaker, we are going to be spending in this year $11.7 billion on our pathway workers. And I think you would be happy to know that 78% of the pathway workers are women. Employment given to our women. 13,883 of them were employed in 2025. 3,882 men. And on our community enhancement working program, 1,050 women were employed and 1,614 men were employed. And this year, we'll be spending $1.9 million. But I want to turn my attention quickly, Mr. Speaker, to Region 9. Because 2 persons, the gentleman who came before me, gentleman is using the word very loosely. He needs to apologize to this nation for what we know he did. And Mr. Speaker, and the Honorable Mr. Dion LaCruz, whose presentation I enjoyed. It was very spirited, and you could see that he has a heart for service. He's with the wrong people, but he'll get that over soon. He'll be over here shortly. Mr. Speaker, Region 9. Region 9 is one of the most beautiful places in this country. In this country, Region 9 is one of the most beautiful places, sir. And he said nothing was happening in Region 9 and it was being neglected and so on. Mr. Speaker, between 2020 to 2024, we spent close to $10 billion on healthcare in Region 9. $10 billion. Let me read some of those stats, Mr. Speaker. New facilities. Level 1 facilities were built at Coxshibai, Carabai Crew, Quico, and Marymore. You know where Coxshibai is? To get to Coxshibai, you actually have to go almost vertical. If you look over on one side, you can't see the bottom. So if you fall off, look, Mahi Paul's puzzled. He doesn't know where Coxshibai is. David Hines has no clue where that is. It's in Region 9, sir. It's in Region 9. You got to go and visit people. New facilities, level 2, upgraded. Achiweb, Corrowdenau, Warrenau, Mawarrenau, Katuna Rib, and a whole set more. Level 3, Anai, Karasabai, Sand Creek. Total patients seen in the region, Mr. Speaker, 62,000. The Region 9 health story is a success story. Our people used to have to go to Brazil for service. People from Brazil are now coming over to us for service. That is a story we should all be cheering on. Where is your national pride? Where is your national pride? Mr. Speaker, when the PPPC took office, was voted into office in 1992, we had one single secondary school in Region 9 at St. Ignatius. Between 92 and 2015, without a drop of oil, we built 3 more. Right now, we have built or are building 9 secondary schools in Region 9. 949. Napi, which will be called the George Tancredo Napi Secondary School. You talking about culture? Go read up about George Tancredo. Mawaranao, Karaudanao, Masara, Tapachinga, Karasabai, Shulinab, Katoka, and Yupakari. Now, is it true that they are taking longer than we want? Of course. We would tell you that. But what happens, sir? We go to public bid. We advertise on a website and we say, hear ye, hear ye. Anybody in the world who is interested in this, in building this thing at a competitive price, put in your bid. And the MPTAB has no choice. They have to give the least expensive, most responsive person. Now, when they are delinquent, we must throw them off the work. We must terminate them, and we are prepared to do that. But what you see in the steel and concrete, albeit delayed, what you see is a desire by the People's Progressive Party Civic to make sure the overcrowding at St. Ignatius stops. That's what you see. How many did the APNU build when they were in office for 5 years? The APNU of AFC failed to start and finish even a single secondary school anywhere in this country. Test me on that. Test me on that. Anywhere in the country. So, Mr. Speaker, what we know we have. Teachers in Massicanari. Look at them. They don't know where Massicanari is. They have no clue. These are clueless. These sleeping. Massicanari is the last village at the bottom of the map. It's also referred to as Guns. We just graduated 7 teachers from the CPC, our only training college in this country. We have, Mr. Speaker, training sites all over Region 9. So much so that we have 98% of our teachers in Region 9 trained or in training. Mr. Speaker, I will say this. In conclusion, to the people of Guyana, you have chosen well. You have chosen well in the PPPC in Dr. Irfan Ali as your president. This is a party that will deliver on our manifesto. Our manifesto. Mr. Speaker, we will deliver on our promises. And it is only our promises we can deliver on, not their promises, because their promises were fanciful and would bankrupt this country. If they want their promises delivered, they'd have to be able to convince the people of Guyana to come here, and they can't do that because they can't win the confidence of the people of Guyana. We promise you, and we commit to you, that we are your servants. We will work hard every day to deliver. And where we falter, we are willing to correct ourselves and serve the people of this country, whether they be Hindu, Muslim, Christian, non-religious, Rasta, whether they be Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese, Amerindian Guyanese, or any other ethnicity, whether they're Portuguese, whether they're from the coast or the hinterland or the riverine, whether they're male or female or doesn't identify as either. Whatever you are, wherever you are, however you voted, we are your servants, and the PPPC is your government. I thank you, sir.
Thank you, Minister, on that 20th budget presentation also. Honorable members, from QC, we also had Zara Locke. Zara. Honorable members, we will return at 6:30 promptly. We now take the suspension.